The characters and events depicted in this podcast is for mere entertainment. Any similarity to actual persons, living or dead, or going through their third surgery is purely coincidental. Listen at your own risk.
Hey guys, how are you doing? Okay, so I've been having a bit of technical issues with this. As you can see, I'm doing this alone, which is ironic, right? Because I studied for this shit. um, so yeah, as you can see, I'm alone. So this is gonna be a solo episode. It'll just be me today. So I'll be talking by myself in a sense. um, so as I mentioned before, for those of you who did see our episode last week, I did mention my some of the rough times I had before meeting Daniel. So that's kind of what I want to latch on and talk about today. So I'll just probably be blabbering and just talking about me. I won't drag it too long because I don't want this episode to be blah. um, so I got myself a little glass of champagne. Uh, try to relax a little bit. Today has been a little frustrating, so I kind of want to make this episode as perfect as possible. So I'll get going. Um, as you guys know, I did grow up in Southern California. I grew up in North Hollywood, and I came up here to the Bay Area for school. I attended San Jose State University, and I majored in radio, television, and film. So hence podcast, radio. You um, when I moved up here, it was interesting. It was rough. I did spend a lot of my time alone. Because I didn't know anybody. Um, Graduating high school, we I actually knew some classmates who were gonna also attend San Jose State, but some of them ended up going somewhere else or staying close by, and so that was that. You know, I had a bit of trouble, um, connecting with my roommates. They just had different. They just had a different mentality, and I mean, back then I was a little more, closed. I wasn't socially open in a sense. Even I mean, up to today, I can be a little shy, and that's just something I keep work on. I keep working on every day, just to be a little socially open. Um, so those I guess that's probably one of the things that caused that I couldn't interact with my roommates or enjoy that time with my roommates. But nevertheless, things happen for a reason, as they say. Um, I did, in fact, though, I did join a fraternity during my freshman year in SJSU. I did the fraternity. I met a lot of great people. Shout out to the people I still talk to from the fraternity. And for those of you who don't talk to me anymore, well, oh well. um, so, like I said, that those first 2 years were pretty complicated for me. Um, it was, I don't want to say it was sad, but I don't think there's any other way to characterize what I was going through. I spent in the fraternity about a year and a half until I decided to, take a semester off, and then they decided to go on with this trial. It's a procedure that they do when they want to remove a member from the fraternity. So I was removed um, during that time off. So I think that's where kind of things started a little rougher. Um, I remember one of the guys saying that, you're not gonna come back. Usually people who take semesters off normally don't come back. And then me, my stubborn self, I was like, no, I'm coming back because I'm coming back. But that's, there was just so many things in play. It was perhaps the fourth semester in the university, and there was just so many things, all the time and effort I put in, all the time and effort my parents put in, um, the money. So it's something I couldn't just back out just like that. It was something to really really think about. So I came back. Although while I was out there, I found a job. I was working at this beverage joint in Hollywood Highland. I I learned so much from that place. I met so many great people, and I learned a lot from those people. Again, me as a person, I'm very shy, so it took a lot of me, a lot from me, to go to the interview because I remember they made us like stand around in a circle and kind of we did this interview in a group. So it was a bit nerve wracking at first, and but I was like, you know what, I gotta do this. I can't be shy all the time. Like I have to break out of my shell. And breaking out of my shell is something that took a while. You know, like I said, I'm still working on it. I'm not all like completely. Like, I'm not a social butterfly. But it's I learned a lot, and having to come back to school. Well, I try to bring that knowledge over, and the fact that I had nowhere to go, made me take a step back in a sense. So I had to go back and I had to look for an apartment, and thankfully I did. I had some money saved, and that apartment was expensive as fuck. It was an apartment near San Jose State. It was literally across the street, and there were some tough times there. I had nothing. I had no furniture. I had no bed. It was rough. I before Daniel came in and just like writing everything up for me, like there were some dark times. I clearly remember sitting on my mini fridge in the dark because I felt a little blue. I felt a little down, and I remember I was just sitting alone listening to music, and I was listening to the song "Over the Rainbow" by what's his name, Israel Komowole, something like that, and that broke me down, and it got to me, like just the tone and the rhythm of the song. It just like it made me sit there and think how how alone I was. You know, it was kind of complicated. Uh, Not many people, not many of my friends stopped by. Uh, I mean, during those times, I was also, you know, trying to figure myself out. There was a lot of things, you know, in play. Some things I was trying to figure out about me, who I was. One of the things was, you know, um, my uh, what's the term to use? My sexuality. That's one of the things that kind of, you know, pushed me back on some things. And during those times, you know, I was figuring it out, and and I got to it. You know, it was like, this is who I am. This is me. And it unfortunately kind of, it backed people off, quote unquote. I did, I didn't hear from a lot of people since then, and it kind of broke me because those people you think they would be there for you, and they weren't, you know. But that's okay, because I've always been the person with the mentality that, people come and people go. I kind of learned that the hard way, in a sense. Mm. It's hard to keep people around. So my motto during those times was like, if you wanna shoot me a text, I'll respond. I'll shoot you a text, and if you don't respond, well, oh well. But if I don't hear from you, I won't text back, because I was just very proud. I was very stubborn. I wasn't gonna make the first move, and it just kept me away from those people. And well, after that, you know, I I just had to figure things out on my own. Um, I remember struggling economically. Like I said, the apartment was kind of expensive. You know, my dad had to help me out. My parents had to help me out for the most part, and for the first few months. So I mean, like, they have their own things, I have my own things, and you know, it was hard that they had to have me on their back, in a sense. They still had to worry about me, and that's one of the things that, I decided to come up here. I wanted to be a little independent. I wanted to do me, and so, I lived off of hot dogs. I lived off sandwiches, cup of noodles, and sometimes I did have water. But there were tough times. Thankfully, I can look back and realize how far I've gone from that person, or sorry, not that person. I've gone from that time in my life. It's something I can think about, and I can keep going. You know, in terms of, my career, because I mean, I did study radio, television, film. I haven't really done much in the last 2 years, perhaps a little more, and I'm not entirely sure why. I can't say that, I probably kind of lost myself, in a sense, because, as a kid, well, here's the thing. When I was a kid, when I was perhaps in fifth grade, sixth grade, the idea of being in the entertainment industry just came about. It was like, that's what I want to do. I grew up watching telenovelas. I grew up watching all this series from Televisa and other corporations, and sometimes I created all these telenovela scenes in my head, that inspired me. I still have a flash drive with notes about this is all these ideas that I came about, and I typed them down so I won't forget them. I was like, this is the title, this is how I want it to be called. Um, these are the characters. This is the storyline. This is how it's gonna go. Like super. Like I was so excited about it, and I kind of want to go back to that feeling, and I feel like I haven't done so, and I need to get back on that. I mean, podcasting can fall under the category of radio because it has a similar aspect to it, but podcasting can only get me so far. You know, my dream goal has always been or has been to be a screenwriter. You know, and thankfully going to school kind of taught me a lot more than what I thought. Because I had a fair idea of how it worked or what you needed, in a script, and I need to go back to that. I kind of lost myself, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. You just get preoccupied with other things, work, life, this and that, and just enjoying life. Uh, and then the pandemic came by and kind of screwed us all over. But I have some plans to get back on that grind, and I will surely start writing again. It's what makes me happy. It gives me this adrenaline, and well, yeah. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I also wanted to do like acting. That was one of the first things that came to my mind. Like, I want to act. I want to like very dramatic, Televisa style acting. And then as the years went by, it was like I I want to direct. I want to produce. Although I really didn't know much of what producing meant, but I just want to have my name out there. That's what I wanted. My name, Andy Asensio. Boom. And as the years went by, I was like, perhaps directing, producing is not my thing. What I really did enjoy and have always enjoyed has been uh, creating the story, the script, and writing. That's me. I also remember as a kid, I would always force my brother to do this um, competition show, quote unquote. I mean, for those of you who have seen Dancing with the Stars or have seen the Televisa version of it, which was called Bailando por un Sueño. They also had Cantando por un Sueño. So I did my own version when I was a kid, and my brother would do it with me. I probably still have those videos somewhere in my parents' house, and it was crazy, My parents would support me in a sense. I would pop up my camera, and then we would just like do our act. Like we would sing, we would put music, and then we would be a judge of our own acts. So like I said, like acting, and this entertainment stuff, like has always been in me in a sense. Like that's what I want to do. And it's it's I've come a long way. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, where I struggled. I started from nothing, in a sense. I started from nothing, and now I'm here. I'm doing this podcast. I'm happy about the podcast. It's creating a sort of um, background knowledge of the industry, in a sense, of course. But yeah, I I guess I wasn't kidding about blabbering. I think I went from I think I went from one story to another, kind of skipped through my tough times because you know I try not to think about it, because it bums me out sometimes, and I just want to move past it. It if it comes to my mind, it's like I was there, now I'm here, like this is me. um, but yeah, guys. I forgot to mention one thing. Like I said, this episode is just me today, and then I think we will have an episode with just Daniel himself too. Trying to do a solo episode. Um, but yeah, I mean, I can probably keep blabbering, but I think I'm gonna go from one thing to another, and I hope you guys got to know me a little bit more. Um, it's still hard for me to be a bit of a social butterfly, but I do try my best. But you know, hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and I think I'm gonna wrap it up real soon. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you haven't seen our previous episodes from this new season, check them out. If you haven't seen any of our videos or have listened to any of our episodes from our last seasons, check them out, guys. Come on, you know, have some fun. um, but I think that's all. No, I don't think I have much to say anymore. But I'm a little more calm, so I appreciate this glass of champagne. um, Thank you so much, guys, and we'll see you next time. All right, see ya.